on, everybody? Kai Sasser here, walking around, heading out in Apopka. And so basically, it's a really nice day, and it's gonna be 90 degrees, so I'd rather venture out when the sun is not beating down and I could literally be able to catch some shade. You can see the speckled shade that I'm walking in, you know. Pretty early in the afternoon, I would say. But you know, I guess I could say a few things. I always have something to say. And you know, minorities for medical marijuana shirt. Weird, but I got a shirt that has actual print on it. And anyways, so we're heading out today to sit down with a business owner and talk about some stuff. But for now, I wanted to talk about, you know, how some people tend to treat each other, like with almost complete lack of compassion. You know, and I don't know what makes, I guess what makes people do it different ways. It just looks so different sometimes. But, you know, when it comes down to it, they, you know, it's an action based out of, I don't know, like, not my problem, or that's on them, not me, kind of thing. And it's like, that kind of mentality shouldn't really be so in any type of systematic or even, you know, natural sense. There isn't a kind of singular outlook like that, like fending for yourself and, you know, that's on you. I'm alive, and that situation is outside of me. Like, that's the wrong way to think about it, I think. So, you know, it seems like people are treating not only other people, but their experiences with, oh, no matter what person does indeed had it worse, they're not going to let their experience override another's, you know, like, I don't know, man, there's something behind that, you know, but it just leads to these defense mechanisms, and that's ultimately what people tend to overlook. Not really the result of things and how bad it can get, but the mechanism they use to avoid that situation seems to be what's more interesting to me. Because most people do things just for the sake of not doing a lot of things. Confronting issues with people, interacting with people. You know, and it's like, hold on, if we're supposed to care about slightly in some way of each other, why the hell are we creating so much distance? Why are we creating so much disengagement of the physical now, at least, that, I mean, I've done it, and I've done nothing but get more curious about people. So it's like, you know, why are people not engaging in their own kind? I mean, I'm a person. There shouldn't, I mean, me out in the world being a person, a human, I wonder why people won't take the time to know another's name. You know, like, yeah, I put Akai Sasori on my internet stuff, you know, like, yeah. But I still know my name's Antoine. It's just the name that the system knows of me. So, you know, it shouldn't be too important to hold on to those things. But regardless, they mean something. How you doing? Regardless, they mean something, you know? So this really shouldn't be any person walking by another and not having some sort of exchange, no matter how minimal and minor and insignificant, some kind of encounter, you know? Just have a little bit more consideration. Like, that's pretty much the idea of this, all this. Is is people need to have a little bit more consideration and to not put their stuff so far ahead of somebody else's that they don't freaking know. Like, that's on you. You know what I mean? So, because that's the way it is. That's what started this conversation, because that's the way it is. And so, because of the way it is, it causes a lot of ill-compassionate people. And I don't even know if that's a word. Ill-compassionate, uncompassionate, incompassionate, whatever it is, the lack of. Discompassionate, doesn't really matter what I put in front of the word. It's the opposite of what we're supposed to be doing. It can look like a bunch of different things. I ache in pain seeing how much trash just appears in the place that I wasn't even here that long. And there's just all of a sudden a trash influx. And I don't know, it's been raining, sure. And there was some wind, but nothing too damaging. But I ache in pain. I feel the empathy for the trash even being on the ground. I even look to see if they're freaking like actually biodegradable, but doesn't just look like litter. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason for certain things to be able to be used. I could use shredded up notebook paper and it'll break down. Seeing a pile of that in the woods shouldn't bother me, but if you only see it as litter rather than something that's conducive with the process, you can't see anything ahead of you. You can't feel the compassion, you can't have the empathy, you can't have the self-awareness that it takes to make these things happen. Making these things happen it's pretty much what it's all about, right? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Because I think that keeping everybody, not everything, everybody close in your heart in some way is probably the most love you can offer them in any given moment. Just knowing that you're taking people into consideration to do something or feel a certain way, it's all good. But too many people are walking around with no empathy, and it's got to stop. It's got to stop, because it leads to a dark freaking place that most people can't really know that they're pulling themselves out of or not. So just stay aware of how much you're having at least the slightest bit of compassion to any stranger walking by you in any fashion. You know, there's no reason for you to retaliate. Quit thinking about justice and vengeance and start thinking about compassion. That's all I'm saying.